Hi there, and thank you for joining me with another video. Today I'm going to show you how I make Quiche Lorraine. Now this dish originated in France many hundreds of years ago, but only became recognised and popular in the mid-1900s. The original didn't have cheese in. I've put cheese into this. Some say that it's cheating and makes it more rich, but I just like cheese. So anyway, let's get on with the ingredients. So this is what you'll need to make Quiche Lorraine. It's all very straightforward and easily available. Quiche is actually very simple to make, but there's only one technical aspect to it, and that is blind baking the pastry. I'll show you how to do that in the video. So let's get on with it. Okay, so set your scales up. And you want to pop the bowl on there and then zero the scales. Now you're going to run 250 grams of flour through a sieve into the bowl, just to get rid of any lumps. So get a pack of butter. I use salted butter. Take it straight out of the fridge, and you want to cut off 125 grams in small chunks, because we're going to mix that in with the flour. Cold butter is always better when you mix it in with the flour, because you get the right consistency of sand once it's all mixed in. The heat from your fingers will actually help melt it in, but starting off cold is a lot better. So I'm just going to cut these into smaller chunks and just pop them in the bowl of flour. You want to make the chunks sort of as small as possible, really, within reason. It just helps with mixing it in. Now you're going to get your fingers in there and just start kneading it in together. Just mix it all up. You should be able to sort of run the flour through your hands so that it feels like grains of sand, really. Takes a wee bit of time, but that is the sort of consistency that you're looking for. It's ideal. Now we want to break an egg. You put the jug on the scales and set it to 0, so put the egg in. And then you're going to add some water to make up a total of 80 milliliters. So the egg will probably use about 60 milliliters. Anyway, I just threw the water all over the place, so I've got to clean that up. And obviously the water on the scales will make a difference. And there you go, 80 milliliters. So you're going to mix that in. And then just add it to the flour. Initially it's going to be very sticky, so it's probably better to use a wooden spoon to initially get it to mix in. Once you've mixed it in as far as you can with a spoon, then it's time to get your fingers in there and start working it. What you're doing is just mixing it in. You don't want to overwork the pastry because otherwise it starts to become elastic, and when it's elastic, then when it's cooking it will shrink back. So basically you just need to knead it so that everything is mixed in thoroughly, but don't overwork it. Because once you've got it in the flan tin, then you want it to keep its shape without shrinking back. Once you're happy with it, then sort of make it a little round shape and flatten it slightly. And then you want to put some cling film around it to seal it. And you're going to put it in the fridge for at least 2 hours. That just lets it settle down. It'll be hard as nails when you take it out to roll it out, but rolling it will actually, the friction from rolling will actually warm it up, make it easier. Now you want 200 grams of streaky bacon. What we're going to do with this, we're not going to fry it. We're actually going to put it in the oven and cook it. And we're going to put it in the oven in strips, as you can see there. And then once it's cooked, we're going to cut it up afterwards. It's easier that way. Well, it is for me anyway. I mean, you can fry it if you want. It's just easier to put it in the oven and cook it for 12 minutes or so. 200 degrees centigrade in a fan oven. That will do the job. Just lay them out on strips on a tray with a metal grill thing on the top. Don't know what you call them. Hey Siri, set the timer for 20 minutes.
Counting down
already. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do it for 20 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade. 12 minutes is about right. And out they come. Looking good. So what you want to do now is just cut them up into bite-sized pieces. Depending on how your oven cooks, some of them might be a bit more crispy than others. You don't want them too crispy. You want them just cooked. Yes, and they're hot. I've got asbestos fingers. No, I haven't. I'll use a bit of tissue or kitchen roll to hold them, so I don't burn my fingers. Here comes the dog. I think she can smell cooking bacon from about 500 yards away. She loves little bits of bacon. Never give her too much though. Spoil her. and make her fat. Sit. You're not getting anymore. The dog is in the house. She's Nala, by the way, and she's an American Akita crossed with a German Shepherd. About 9 years old now, so she's getting on a bit. Beautiful dog, part of our family. Okay, so I'm just going to reset the mat. I love this mat for pastry. Ready for when the pastry comes out of the fridge and we roll it out. And there it comes. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And it'll be as hard as nails. But the friction of rolling it will soften it up. And yes, it is a good workout. The flan tin I'm going to use is about 9 inches, so you need to make this quite a bit bigger just to get some overlap. I've actually got quite a bit of pastry there. Probably way too much than I need. Could have used a bigger tin. Right, so what you want to do is put the pastry on the flan tin carefully. If I had a bigger rolling pin, I would roll the pastry around the rolling pin and then unroll it over the tin. But my rolling pin is too small. It's a little bitty rolling pin, not big enough. Now what you want to do here, without stretching the pastry, is to press into the corners or edge. You've got to lift the pastry up so that you don't stretch it, and then just push in with your fingers right up to the edge on the inside. Quite easy really. The pastry won't fall apart unless you've rolled it too thin, but this pastry isn't too thin, it's about the right thickness. About 3mm thick. So you want to cut off the excess, but don't cut it right off to the edge of the tin. You need a little bit to play with. Because you want to form a sort of lip on the pastry. Now with the back end of the knife, you just want to put little grooves all the way around on the top of the pastry, or the edge of the pastry, just like that. It just helps it form a good edge. Now you're going to put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. And out it comes again. Right, this is where we prepare for blind baking. So initially just cut out some baking paper, a good decent size to cover it, and then we want to put lots of holes in the bottom of the pastry. This is called docking. What this does is stops the pastry rising up or bubbling up in the middle from the heat. It lets the hot air escape out through the holes. Now we're going to line the inside of the pastry with the paper that we cut out, and we're going to put baking beads in. Not all at once, just a few, just so that we can layer it out and push it right up to the edge of the inside of the pan. Like that. Spread them out, push them up to the edge, and you just want to trim the paper. So now we're going to put it in the oven. It's been preheating to 200 degrees centigrade. It's a fan oven, and we're going to put it in for 12 minutes. Siri, set the timer for 12 minutes. In your own time. Siri, set the timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
I love technology. Okay, once that's done, take it out very carefully. You don't want hot beads rolling around on the kitchen floor. That would be fun. Just going to check the edges, make sure that they're nice and brown. Cooked. Now you want to somehow get the beads out. The easiest way is just to get a Pyrex bowl and lift them up inside the baking paper, which hopefully won't split, and pop them in. There you go. So there's your pre-baked pastry crust. Right, so now we're going to make the filling, which in France is called migaine. So we're going to make migaine, which is basically 3 eggs and 300 milliliters of double cream. So just crack the eggs into a cup. Once you've added the eggs into the bowl, give them a bit of a whisk. Then you want to put the bowl back on the scales and set it to 0 so that you can add 300 ml of double cream. There you go. We season with salt and pepper now. I do like a nice bit of pepper. But basically you season it to your taste. And then mix it all in. So now I'm going to grate some cheese, probably about 15 grams of it. You don't want too much cheese. The original recipe from France doesn't have cheese in it, apparently. But I like a bit of cheese, so we're going to add about 15 grams. I'm just going to pop this into the bowl. The migaine, and mix it in. Not quite sure whether it's still called migaine if it's got cheese in it. I don't know. I'll have that debate later. So now we're going to get our bacon bits and put them in the bottom of the tin. We're probably going to use about 3/4 of them initially before we start putting our filling our migaine in with cheese. Spread them out. Give your migaine a good mix. Then pour most of it in. Not all of it, just leave a little bit. Don't fall out. And then add the rest of your bacon. Add the rest of your migaine. I'm poking it down with a fork here, just so that you don't get any black bits at the top, because they will go quite dark in the oven. But if you want decoration on the top of your quiche, then leave them there. Right, now it's going into the preheated oven at 180 degrees centigrade for 25 minutes. Please don't spill it. That would be a disaster. Carefully does it. Siri, set the timer for 25 minutes, please.
25 minutes. Counting down.
Okay, your 25 minutes are up, so out it comes. It's always worth keeping an eye on it in the oven to make sure that it doesn't get too dark, because obviously if it gets dark, take it out earlier. But that's sort of roughly, it's probably a bit overdone, but it's the right colour. A bit dark. But it's fine. It'll taste okay. Okay, so let's see what this bad boy looks like. Cool down enough now. Okay, now it's time to take it out of the tin. This tin has a removable bottom, and that's how you get it out. For some reason here I opted to pick the whole thing up and put it on the plate, whereas it probably would have been easier to slide it off the bottom plate onto the dinner plate. Now we're going to cut it in half and see what we got inside. The smell is great. It's a wonderful smell when you cook quiche. This time we're going to use a skillet, or whatever it's called, to put half of it on another plate. And then we're going to have a look, see what it looks like inside. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it is actually cooked to perfection. So there you have it. Quiche Lorraine with cheese. Enjoy. Well, if you've made it this far, then thank you very much and well done. Quiche is great to have for lunch, and it's easy to cook and doesn't take too long either. You can also be very adventurous with what you actually put in a quiche. If you like this video, then please hit the like button. That would be appreciated. And if you want to see future videos coming out, then please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now.